KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump, from the deep into the pool, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
You know what, bro? This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Testicles 1, 2. Testicles. Welcome back to Paranoid Radio Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Trebles Garcia, your humble host. Yeah, it feels good to be behind the mic again. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to remind you that the most important thing that you could do for the show is word of mouth. Check out ParanoidRadio.com and check out the affiliations. No, I did not sell out, bro, but we all got to eat. What the fuck are you guys judging me for? Anyway, the most important thing is you guys check out ParanoidRadio.com. I'm not even going to mention the names of the affiliations because I trust you guys are going to do the right thing and support. That is right. Do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Now let's jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the fucking mood. I have an amazing special guest. This is an amazing, crazy episode. He is the creator of the most underground trading card, conspiracy trading cards in the freaking planet. He's his own host of his own show. He is the owner and creative director of Plunder World. What's up, Mr. Plunder?
Hey, thanks for having me. You can call me James. Just think of me as a blue-collar dude who's just tired of being lied to his entire life, and I just thought it was time to do something about it.
Oh, yeah. Shout-outs to every single person that joined us on that episode on the 643 podcast and Sunday Night Secret Societies. That's where I met this beautiful gentleman, and he blew my mind with his voice, his knowledge, but his voice. We freaking cracked a joke on him. You got to go check that live out, guys. That stream was amazing. He did this little skit where he would use his voice as a phone sex worker.
I was reading a romance novel. Let's get that clear. Yes.
Dude, you freaking rocked it out of the park, bro, and now I am happy. Let me lower the volume on my gain here because I am screaming on top of my lungs. I want the world to know where you're located. What is it that you do, bro, and where can people find you?
Well, I'm located out of Houston, Texas. I spent most of my life in the southeast part of the state. I travel a lot, and I'm self-employed. I do my own thing. I'm a video and photo producer, and I like my content in the public because once you throw it online, it just disappears into the void. But if you can actually produce something you can hold, see, share, and cherish, then it'll last forever. As long as you're not currently running out of your house in California right now because of a fire. God bless all those people, and I hope they survive.
I am literally 10 to 15 miles away from North Hollywood. My family member in North Hollywood, she just sent me a video right now, and I shared it with Catalyst Jones and Sunday Night Secrets chef's very own, and I sent it to him. I have my 2 bug out bags ready to go. If the light goes and the Wi-Fi shuts down, guys, this episode is still going to go up even if it's partially up. And then I got my Beretta ready to go too, just in case something pops off, because you'll never know in California. So yeah, mad shout-outs, and this is happening on the 8th of every month, as you already know. I think that's a conspiracy theory. You should make a card for that. The 8th of every month, Mar-a-Lago, Maui, the fucking California fires, earthquakes, tsunamis, the 8th of every single month. You should look into that. It's fucking massive. Your mic is off. Oh, yeah. And this episode is brought to you by Plunder World.
All right, is that better?
Bam, he's back.
Okay, sorry about that. My audio system went to sleep. I would, the 8th, sounds like a pretty scary date. I would like to show you and your audience. I'll just switch this over. I don't really have a transition from the 8th to this, but I make trading cards, y'all. And this took a good chunk of effort because I made every possible mistake. And I wanted to make sure that people had something that reminded them of the good old days of collecting baseball cards and basketball cards, maybe even those Garbage Pail Kids. But I want to give people something that they're going to be scared to be caught with at work, afraid of their teacher finding it in their backpack. I want them to worry about detention when they get these cards in their hands, because they contain just about every tasty nugget I could dig up about 90 subjects that are responsible for the state of the world we live in today. And there's, I mean, it's a big series. It's 279 cards. Every box has got 36 packs, and every pack is 7 cards. And I think I sent a few your way. Were you lucky enough to get any of the rare cards?
Oh yeah, and I wanted to open one up on camera. I saved the last pack. If
Oh,
you
you did,
allow me
huh?
to. Yeah, can I open it up? And
I don't care. They're yours, man. Do whatever you
check
want with
this
them.
out. So my favorite card actually is the one that you said Save the Kids, and also the COVID one, because it gives a real good description of and detailed description, and most importantly, knowledge of the situation that we all went through and we endured. Oh, so this is I got some repeats here. That's what I like. I got some repeats too.
But you got to make sure you
Awesome,
got
dude.
the different border, because there's 3 cards per
ADHD.
subject.
Oh, I see how you do this now. Frank Sturgis. We got Solomon James. You go back to the Confederate Army also. Look at that, dude. National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act. Really, bro? Shut the front door, bro. And it
Okay, you got
has
the gold
juicy
one.
information in the back. Yeah.
I just want to make this clear for the listeners. So there are 90 subjects, okay?
Yeah.
And the way it breaks down is there are, I'll switch. There are 3 cards per subject. And the way it works is, you've got Nelson Rockefeller here. He's a good example. You've got a gold border, and that's got a whole bunch of lore on the back. And then you have a silver border, and that has completely different lore on the back and different artwork. Okay. Same with the black card. Okay. Same with the black card.
Oh.
When I was doing research for all these subjects, I don't have enough room to squeeze them on one card. I don't. And I felt like, okay, let's just put it all on there. But how do I do it? So we've got each card is delineated by a gold, silver, and black border. It even says so on the box. So we've got a black border, silver border, gold border, and different lore and artwork on the back of each card. So you get a full story. Okay. And it's not everything. I mean, I'm sure there's some tidbits and other junk I've left out, but it is enough, hopefully, to get people interested in at least one of these subjects where they can start researching, where they can go, oh, you know what? I didn't know that. You know, I want to look into that more.
Dude, I didn't even know about the borders. Now I need to collect the other colors, dude.
That's why there's 279 cards. So
you're right.
The checklist will give you all 90 subjects and all the ultra rare cards. And just by the way you're talking, I don't think you got any of the ultra rare cards. So I'll show those off.
I wouldn't even know
camera.
because I just started this stuff right here, man.
Okay. Well done. You want to look for these bad boys? I got 9 shiny foil cards. And,
oh, this is like Pokemon cards, bro. You got that holographic Charizard right there, bro.
telling you, it's I wanted to make sure that the people that are into cards were able to fit or fill evenly their 9 card holder sheets, so the entire set will fit perfectly in a book. And
you really thought this out, dude.
Oh man, you don't know half of it, because I've got a folder filled with easily 800 subjects, and I'm already steaming away on series 2. And I mean, I got enough subjects where I could run 10, 15 series if I wanted to, but it's a lot of work for one guy. Okay, and if I'm lucky, I might be able to pump out 3 to 4 subjects, which is like maybe 9 to 12 cards a week. as if I'm lucky. But even then, once I'm done with everything, I have to go back and proofread, really kick that art in the butt just to make sure it's, up to something I like. Because sometimes I'll throw
Yes.
together some art and, I look at it later and I'm going, dude, I could have done so much better. Let me change that, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. I got another one there. I got black and silver. I'm over here putting them together. My bad.
Yeah,
I
that's
totally
right.
forgot.
No, that's great.
I totally forgot we were freaking recording an episode. Holy snap. All right. Check this out, though. Amazing trading card, underground trading card. And the most important thing is that you could motivate yourself to do more research. And if you, for a lot of people, when I started, we had the stupid conspiracy theory poster, and my best friend and I would throw darts at it, and wherever it would land, that's the next topic we would discuss and deep dive, and then we'll start doing YouTube videos and scrolling through at least 10 pages of Google pages, right? And then eventually we ran out, or eventually we would cover one subject that would cover three other subjects altogether. So it was really hard to just keep up. And then now at this point, it was like, all right, now we got to deviate to true crime and stuff, and start asking other people about ideas and bringing guests on. And eventually it transformed to what it is now. But these cards, it has so much information, dude. Income tax, bro.
Yeah. Well,
Strategy
that's
tension,
everybody's favorite. Strategy of tension. That's a big one.
bro.
That's happening right now.
McCollum, what the hell is the McCollum memo? Give me
That's
that.
the
Let's start there.
Okay, the McCollum memo is an actual memo that was released prior to the attack on Pearl Harbor, and you could download it online and read it. And in fact, I probably have a copy on my drive, but I have to talk and search at the same time. I won't bore you with that. To sum it up, it basically talked about the provocation of Japan by denying them fuel and relocating our mothballed our old rickety naval fleet in Pearl Harbor. They knew about they knew about the Zeros flying into Pearl Harbor, and nothing was done about it. So it's just one example of prior knowledge. And then there's an interesting tidbit on the back of one of those cards. I forget which color, but there was even a comic book. I think it's called Uncle Sam. It's kind of like a low budget Captain America. Okay. And the very issue that was like 3 months prior to the attack in December, the story was about Japanese warplanes attacking the U.S. Navy. So how's that for foreknowledge? Okay. But that card
What do we
actually
call this? We call this
foreknowledge,
predictive programming.
something like that. I would call it foreknowledge. I'd say predictive programming makes it sound a little too aluminum hat. You know what I mean? By the way, I hate when people say tinfoil hat. It's aluminum, y'all. It's aluminum. It's not tin. Okay, get it right. It drives me crazy. Okay, so
Dude, there's shirts and podcasts named after that, bro.
I know, and I love them. I love Sam Tripoli, but dude, okay, that card you mentioned, McCollum memo, that's not an old archive photo. That's an actual picture that I took, and I just used some Photoshop to age it. And there's some fake planes I put in the corner coming through fake clouds I added because down here in Southeast Texas, we've got an old battleship that's the USS Texas, and it's currently getting repaired. And believe it or not, that ship actually served in World War One, and then
Holy snap!
yeah, and then they modernized it for World War II, and it's got a couple of kills. I mean, it's an old, awesome ship. I used to tour it when I was a kid. But yeah, that's the USS Texas on the card.
If you don't mind, I'm a pick cards, and then you could explain to me what it is.
Okay, I
Are
don't
you
care.
down?
Do whatever. I'm down. I'm down with anything, man. I mean, I got stuff
Plus, we're
prepared.
promoting the
but
freaking
let's go
cards
your
here.
way. Yeah,
I freaking love it.
flip it and rip it, man.
But in Dynecore, explain that one to me, bro.
Okay, so that's Dynecore, and Dynecore.
Oh, Dynecore.
Yeah. And they're one of the military contracting firms that would handle like parcel transport or force protection for officials in Iraq. They're like they're not supposed to be mercenaries, but they're kind of like your folks of, you're familiar with BlackRock?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, not BlackRock, but Blackwater. That's the
No.
defense. Blackwater is the defense contract firm founded by Eric Prince. But anyways, Dynecore is one of those firms in Iraq and in other hot zones that the United States goes into militarily, and they handle things like fixing planes or providing food or any number of activities that the U.S. military would be distracted. Anyways, the Dynecore company was shut down, and some of the employees were punished because they were actually running prostitution with local women. They were training guys, or they weren't training. They were hiring guys to work on airplanes who were always hammered. I mean, they were so drunk that they couldn't even walk, and they're supposed to be fixing and performing maintenance on these billion-dollar planes and equipment for the United States government. I mean, it's a whole fiasco of just, and they were ripping the government off for tons of money. They would charge them like millions of dollars just to transport fuel, like a couple of miles. I mean, Dynecore is the epitome of your tax dollars going down the drain because we paid for it. Okay,
That's huge. You know what's funny? I had no fucking idea. I had no idea until these cards came into my hands. I told my wife, I think I just hit a mind gold. I was praying, manifesting, asking God, like, dog, I'm running out of ideas, dude. What the heck?
No, dude. I thought the same thing, man. I thought the same thing. I thought, well, this isn't going to go very far. And then, with my library and all these extra books I've been buying, each book is just filled with subjects I've never heard of. And it's perfect fodder for card subjects.
Yeah.
All right,
I love it.
What is this? Tell me what you got.
Okay. I've seen George Counts. I like his picture, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Who's
a very
this
important
guy?
card. That's a very important card. And I'm glad you picked that one because one of my major subjects of interest is the history of education. Everybody out there right now watching or listening needs to look into John Taylor Gatto. He is a tremendous educator, won National Teacher of the Year, and quit education because he looked into the history of how we've all been turned into mindless ants, just committed to work and die because we've been manipulated by public education. And this starts back with John Dewey. Now, in the 1920s, John Dewey, the father of our modern education, was a Fabian socialist. Okay, and he, along with some co-conspirators, they were members of the National Education Association, which is still the largest union today. If you know a teacher at any school, they're probably a member of this union. But this was started by people like John Dewey, his cohort Harold Rugg, and that guy, George Counts. Now I'm going to ask you a quick question, and I guarantee you're going to be right. What was your least favorite subject in junior high or high school?
You'll be surprised, bro. It was English. I loved history.
Okay. I don't know why that makes me laugh. Okay. Okay. Well, I thought you were going to say social studies. Okay.
I never understood social studies. I thought it was history. Good question. Okay.
All right. Well, George Counts invented social studies. And so George Counts wanted to get rid of this idea of children being educated in their own small Midwest communities, near their church, near their grandparents, where they have, some roots and a love for where they lived. He felt that children aren't going to learn anything. So they need to learn about the world. They need to be concerned about the problems in Europe or in Russia. And so he combined history, he combined sociology, he combined economics, geography into one subject called social studies. And I've done it on other streams. You just happen to pick the right card. But George Counts, he is a terrible socialist. The idea here is to completely influence the child so that they only care about the outside world. And what do we have now? We have children flocking to cities. They want you to move to the city. They want you to get away from living on your own. I'm guilty of it too. I think we all are, because the idea that we've always been taught in media, in entertainment, is that the slow life is the boring life. You have to escape it. You have to go make something of yourself in the big city. Go cut a fat hog in the back downtown. And this is where it leads to. It leads to these gigantic mega cities where it's just endless amounts of ants crawling over each other trying to make a buck. And I think
You lose
it,
you lose every sense. Sorry for interrupting. You
yeah,
lose sense of connecting with the earth, how to grow your own food, moral values, even
that's right.
even saying excuse me, even saying even good habits, good patterns, good behaviors, good gestures. You start becoming self-indulged into jumping into the carpool lane and living the fast track life and then following the next fastest trend inside the city using the smartest phone, we having the sweetest girl and the biggest tits. I swear to God, bro.
And they got those two in the country, sometimes bigger. So um, the I want to share this book because I mentioned this in other streams, but you pulled George Counts. But I go to there's at least 5 really awesome bookstores in Houston, and this book caught my eye because on the spine it says social studies, and the problem is I can't get it on the camera here. I don't know if it's reversed or what, but
It says good, yeah. Social studies.
this book is made in 1948, and I had to buy it because I knew about George Counts at the time. And briefly, the entire book, it's a textbook for children, and it's nothing but propaganda about moving to the city. Because if you live in the country, then you're going to have all kinds of problems because there aren't enough people to take care of your problems. Like if you have a fire, then your barn is going to burn down because the fire department is too far away and all they have are buckets. Okay.
Look at
But
that.
if you go to the city, then the city is going to have all bright, shiny fire engines with strapping, productive firefighters, and all they do is throw on their gear and run out the door and go save your home. Now, the whole book, what it does is it breaks down every part of country life and compares it with city life, like where your bread is made or how trains operate, or what your taxes go to pay for. And I just want to show you one thing. I don't know how it's going to turn out on the video angle, but there's a little predictive programming here, like you said earlier. So these 2 boys go visit a bread factory, and one of them is wearing a red shirt, and that's a popular color for communists. But they're talking about how the machines that make the bread require men. But there's a quote, and it says, "If machines could think, I guess they would make men who could work for them." So
Shut the front door.
I have lots of these old textbooks, and I love them. Now, I don't have them in reach. In fact, if I could reach them. But one of the other cohorts of George Counts was a guy named Paul Hanna, and he wrote that book that I just showed you. He wrote quite a few books. He's also a member of the National Education Association. Now, Paul Hanna's books were banned in San Francisco. They were banned.
Why?
Well, there was a school board there, and in 1946, I think it was 1942, something like that. The school board there in San Francisco reviewed a series of magazines that Paul Hanna wrote called "Building America," and I have all 10 volumes behind me on my bookshelf, and they are nothing but communist propaganda. Okay, what it is?
What time? 1946, you said?
Well, the Building America series was from 1933 to like 1942, and they were these little magazines that would go out to schools, and every magazine would have a little subject in it, like Russia or women in the workplace or taxation, and they were articles to introduce children to all these wonderful topics of social studies, but they would attack American traditions, and then they would propagate socialist messaging. Okay, so as an example, in one of the volumes I have behind me, they're talking about Russia. Now, Russia at the time was technically our ally. okay, or about to be our ally in World War II. All right. And they had just gone through the Bolshevik Revolution in 1914. And so there, if you know anything about the history of Russia, you know they went through a massive, traumatic modernization where a lot of people were killed, a lot of people starved because socialism was an experiment. And the book talks about the history of Russia doing this rapid development, but it also tries to minimize how totalitarian and oppressive it really was. And this is what caught the eye of the San Francisco School Board. And they said, no, this is propaganda. You're trying to get children to sympathize with socialist propaganda, and we won't have it. Now, it wasn't just banned there. It was banned in Washington, D.C. And it was also banned by the Cherokee Nation. Those magazines and books were even sent to the Cherokee Nation, dude. Yeah.
You know what? It's funny how the tables turn, because now you have San Francisco not even reading the freaking books that are indoctrinating our kids to get chop off their dicks.
Yeah, that's another subject I'm getting into, dude. And this is the tightrope I'm walking, and I'm about ready to just jump off the tightrope, because series 1, I wanted to get to general subjects that I think were important and still kind of inflammatory, but all gloves are off. Series 2 is going to make some people mad, and I don't care.
Oh yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. That's what
Right?
you have to do, bro.
I'm
You
not-
know,
I'm-
it's
It's just not. It's just. I'm not holding back any punches. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I mean, I agree with you. There's no such thing as bad publicity, believe it or not. And there's a reason why all these fucking social media sites are now being open to the idea of free speech after 4 years of freaking just concentrating on just knocking us down, making us start all over, fucking everybody up, fucking up our morale. We had to take it like a man, just fucking toughen up your upper lip. And now everybody wants to change their freaking point of view because they see that woke does not sell.
Yep.
You
And that's
see
a
what I'm
good
saying?
thing. That's a real good thing. In fact, I'm going to show you a preview here
Oh,
to
yeah.
a card coming up in series 2, and it ties education into entertainment, and it's depressing. I mean, it's absolutely depressing, and it's happening on social media. It's spreading to streams. It's everything and more. Let me just
Oh, let me open it up for you.
no. I got it. I'm just going to transition here. Need to blow it up a little bit. Okay. I don't know if you can see that very well. But do you know who Norman Lear is?
No. Oh, this is
Okay.
exclusive. Hit
Yeah.
me.
So Norman Lear, he created all those shows that your parents and grandparents watched, like All in the Family, The Jeffersons, stuff like that. I'm sure you've heard of those shows. Sanford and Son. You know what I mean? I know
I'm
you've
gonna
ever seen
I'm gonna
those.
make a mental note of this real quick.
Well,
Norman Lear.
yeah.
Okay.
And so Norman Lear, he pretty much came up with a modern sitcom with a laugh track where you have one character who is a dummy. Okay. And you're supposed to identify with him. He's supposed to sound like your dad. You know, he's the character that, he's stuck in his ways and he doesn't want any, women serving in the military. That's just silly. And then by the end of the episode, he's convinced, well, I guess it's okay. That kind of format for television. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. And so in California, there is actually a place called the Norman Lear Center. And the Norman Lear Center publishes a whole bunch of documents and articles and steps for screenwriters, directors, actors to incorporate woke messaging in their movies, TVs, streams. And I have a few documents that I think everybody should go check out. So we have a document here. Oh, shoot. I left my graphic there. You are what you watch. Sometimes when I do document breakdowns, I like to show just how we're getting screwed. Okay. So, what this does is it's showing how you are influenced by what you watch. And I'm going to get down to some of the sections I've highlighted. So briefly, I'm just looking at the highlighted sections. We can learn whether ideological polarization is reflected in leisure time amusements. They can measure this stuff, man. Okay, they can test for it. And they even did one. So in 2016, they noticed that television viewing corresponded with voting behavior. And this is done by the Lear Center. Okay. And they're noticing that certain combinations of television watching influenced political activity. They noticed physiological arousals and story coding. Now, I do screenwriting. I know the structure of television and movie in a screenplay form, and I know how beats, acts, and character arcs work. And so this is all deliberate, okay? And so the key findings show that they've broken people down into categories: blues, purples, and reds. Reds have the highest proportion of senior citizens. What I'm trying to get done, okay, purples, they're the most important part. They're the most voracious TV viewers. And they are primarily made up of the largest share of Asians, Pacific Islanders, and Hispanics or Latinx, but I hate that word. I'm not even going to use it anymore.
You should make a card of that.
Well, I did. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. If I really want to piss some people off. Okay. So there's some other documents here that the Lear Foundation has. The Lear Center. This document is very important. It's very dense, and it's the Media Impact Project. This is what I'm talking about. The Media Impact Project. What they do is they instruct producers and screenwriters on how to structure for social and behavioral sciences points to a wide body of strategies or nudges that can be leveraged to optimize messages for impact. What they're saying is that they can nudge your thinking or your child's thinking with children's programming to make them think anything they want you to think. And it's funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Even you just hammered that one as solidified. That is complete evidence of our conspiracy in high quotations here theory.
Dude, this isn't even a theory. This is a smoking gun. You know, here are some ways you could use this in your own work. Step 1, get personal. Reduced viewers' psychological distance to the consequence of poor nutritional habits. And so they use supersize me as an example. So you show somebody eating like an idiot, and then it's going to make people feel disgusted. And while that is true, it is a form of psychological manipulation. Okay? I guarantee you, not everybody who eats McDonald's is going to look like that. Then we have describe future flooding caused by climate change as being similar to Hurricane Katrina, but more severe and more frequent. So basically, take a current crisis like the fires in California and then say, well, you know what? In 5 years, it's going to be 10 times worse because of climate change. Just look at the current fires.
Like a cow.
That's right. He's banging it like a drum. And that's what they do. Okay. And it works that way in the media. I mean, I can go through this document for hours, and I have highlighted the snot out of this bad boy. But I recommend anybody who's interested in media or what they're doing to see this is the magician's handbook.
Losing her, the power of loss versus gain. What, dude? That is.
So, anybody watching, just look for the Media Impact Project by the Norman Lear Center, and you will find this document and read it. And read it twice, because like I said, it's like understanding the magician's handbook. Once you understand what they're doing, it will no longer brainwash you. You will be aware of it, and you'll be able to pick it apart for what it is: propaganda. Okay, so
the fine-tuned propaganda machine. I think one of the biggest extensions of the military complex, bro.
Oh yeah. Why do you think we have planes flying over football games and giant flags on display when it has nothing to do with guys in pads beating the crap out of each other? Okay. I
have one more card I want to pull here, because this is the only one. I was going through my deck, and and this is the only one that I have one more color to collect. I need the gold color of this one, and it's the Anthrax Attack. Oh yeah.
So if you remember, shortly after the towers fell, there were anthrax letters sent to members of Congress. And offhand, I can't remember everybody's name. But what's interesting is that the members of Congress that were sent to those anthrax letters wanted to vote against the Patriot Act. Gee, what a coincidence! Hey,
Titanic
da,
all
da,
over again?
da. Hey, and so that anthrax actually was analyzed, and it was too well refined for some foreign, fighting force to produce. In fact, what's interesting about anthrax spores is that, um, in a forensic kind of way, you can determine exactly the shape and the method that it was synthesized, and it's kind of like its own code, and it's going to match the codes of other facilities that actually produce it. And guess what? It matched Fort Detrick. Hey, so our own boys made it.
Holy crap,
Oh,
dude. Going
dude.
full circle, man. That
Yeah. And
reminds me,
so,
do you have a Titanic card?
well, I don't have Titanic, but Series 2 does have the Lusitania. And I think the Lusitania is far more important and impactful than the Titanic, only because it was used as propaganda to get us into World War II. I'm sorry, World War One. All right. And the
Very historical.
Lusitania, oh my God, the Lusitania is such a, I mean, you don't know the half of it, man. Okay. Winston Churchill was, he was the head commander of the Royal Navy at the time. He wasn't prime minister, but
Mhm.
he specifically changed naval policy that allowed the Lusitania to be sunk. And he even said that he wanted America to be involved in a war, and it would take some sort of attack and death of civilians for it to happen. There was another man.
Rem- uh
Well, there was another man involved in that, and his name is Colonel Edward Mendelhouse. And he
Mhm.
was basically the right hand man to President Woodrow Wilson. He was the State Department, one guy. He pretty much handled all foreign affairs. The guy was brilliant, um, evil bastard. But he's, funnily enough, he's buried here in Houston. I went to his grave. I wanted to pee on it, but there were people there. But the, um, I mean,
You would have been automatically gone into what's he called?
I'm sorry.
Sex offender for
Well,
public
yeah,
pissing.
yeah. I had to go knock on doors. Yeah, I'm sorry. I peed on the grave of a total bastard, and it's my fault. Sorry. Yeah, keep your
Fucking
kids
A,
away from
man.
me. Yeah, but um, yeah. Colonel Edward Mendelhouse wrote a whole bunch of personal papers, and they got published. And guess what's in that book? In his personal papers, the morning before the Lusitania sunk, he was talking to he was talking to a member of the British royalty. He was in England at the time, and before the ship sank, he said, "What would happen if the Lusitania got attacked?" Like, what? That's a weird question to ask.
It's a weird question on the wrong in the weird timing. No coincidences, baby.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of the Vanderbilts. If you know that family, ancestors to what's that jerk, Anderson Cooper? He's a Vanderbilt. One of them died on the Lusitania. Um, but it was deliberately loaded with a whole bunch of ammunition because the British and the French were running out of ammunition, and the Germans knew this, and they published the German embassy in Washington D.C. knew that the United States and other countries were sending weapons and fuel to Britain and France, and published in newspapers a warning to all travelers saying don't board any ships that are loaded with weapons. They will be sunk. And there's they tried to publish like 50 or 60 warnings and papers all across the United States. But the State Department, under Colonel Edward Mendelhouse, intercepted
Ah,
these warnings. And
ah.
only like one or two actually got to print. Okay?
Reminds me of what happened today. Reminds the 8th of freaking January 2025. And guess why? Guess what happened? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The memo for refueling the water reservoirs in California, at least in LA, what happened? They didn't get
Yeah,
refilled. Oh, there's
I
no
heard about that.
fucking water in the fire hydrants, bro. Shut the
Yeah,
front door.
right.
It's
Right.
fucking crazy. They slashed $23 million from the fire departments all over across the state. Yeah, fucking
Yeah,
wankers, bro.
right. I mean,
I
they
hear
probably
you.
thought the
No, you cut off again. You cut off again. Snap. We are cooking with fire. Don't forget, guys, to check out Plunder World trading card games. Trading card.
Okay.
Conspiracy Series
Yeah.
1. There she is.
Yeah. So my stupid audio software keeps falling asleep on me. Okay, that's better. Okay, so briefly, as far as other subjects and previews go, what I think I would like to just quickly show you, and this is a card I think that the artwork's not complete on it, but I want to run through it briefly because this is a card that's going to make people upset, and I don't care. I really don't.
I love it. Let's
Okay,
go.
so what we're going to do is talk about defense, the Department of Defense Instruction 1300.28. Okay,
Wait.
this right here is the document that authorizes transgender surgeries and procedures for members of active duty military.
Hold
Okay?
up. Hold up. Wait. You have a freaking butt with a giant bullet train getting penetrated on the screen, bro.
We're getting screwed.
Yes.
Okay, we're getting screwed because we got to pay for
We're
this.
getting screwed. What? Okay,
Okay.
tell me what this thing is again. It's impossible. This is impossible.
Yeah. So this document, okay, effective December 20th, 2022, Department of Defense Instruction 1300.28. This is the document that mandates that all departments within the military authorize active duty service members the process by which service members may transition gender while serving. That's a direct quote. Okay. And this is the whole policy manual of how to do it. And they're talking about this includes members of Reserve Officer Training Corps, like ROTC on campuses, military service academies. They can also, once complete, they can go ahead and use the facilities, bathrooms, showers of whatever gender they decide to be. And that commanders are not allowed to prevent them. And the commanders still have to maintain mission readiness, regardless of how it affects the overall unit. But
Impossible.
yeah, this is it.
It's impossible. You're weakening. You're taking the focus of becoming a fine-tuned killing, freedom fighting machine to internal affairs, into internal problems, to fighting each other. This is fucking intentionally, bro, to destroy us, bro. Intentionally.
Yeah, now I'm not a military veteran, but I did serve, and this was in the '90s when political correctness was all the rage, and I thought the military was kind of neutered then, but now when I see stuff like this happening and it's mandated, and we have that ghastly Rachel Levine leading the the military, I in the cabinet, I just want to vomit. We got to have standards, y'all. I mean, we have to stand for something. But that's one of the designs I'm working on. I don't have anything to show you for a card yet, but
that's gonna freaking, and that's not only gonna, that's, first of all, you're cooking. Congratulations, because you're kicking ass, bro. The amount of information you just spilled out right now in the last 40 minutes, it's huge. We have to walk towards the end of the finishing the show and stuff.
yeah,
But dude, I'm a sapiosexual when it comes to people talking history. I'm a sucker for history, bro. I love it, dog. I love the Bible. I love people talking about conspiracy theories in back then. In fact, my first conspiracy theory, the one that really made me, jump on the conspiracy train, was Titanic and the Federal Reserve. And I'm like, right now that you brought me the Lusitania, if I'm pronouncing that incorrect, guys, forgive
close
me.
enough.
I'm like, dude, it reminds you of Northwoods, right? Operation Northwoods. I'm like, what? Dude, huge subjects. Please, dude, you have an incredible brain. Do not stop what you're doing. Where can people find you?
Easiest thing to do is go to plunderworld.com. I'm also easy to find on Instagram, and shoot me an email. Ask me a question, challenge me. And boxes, I'm down to like maybe 100 boxes left. And then once they're gone, they're gone. In the future, I might do a reprint, but I'm going to give you and your listeners a little tip. The boxes I have now have a generous amount of ultra rare cards in them. I think you get about maybe 7 to 8 in each box. When I do another printing of Series 1, it's going to change to 1 ultra rare card per box. So get them while they're here.
Yes.
Series 2 is about 2/3 of the way done. I'm expecting to go to print probably in April or May.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. People are going to listen to the show, and the first thing they're going to, I'm going to call them out because I don't give a fuck. I do what I want. It's my pussy. Do what I want. Guys, yeah, we're pushing the fucking cards. Yes, we want you to buy the fucking cards. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm a content creator, bro. I got 2 fucking daughters. I got a full house. I got people to feed. I got bills to pay. I don't do this to feed my family. I do this out of only fucking passion and love and the will to stay sober. And quite frankly, bro, you run out of, if you're an average Joe like myself and you're a creative director and you're being creative and you're trying to stay sober and you're going through the average Joe shit, this is something that you could put your brain on. You can make a hobby off of it. It's good mentally. It's good morally. It's good freaking knowledgeably, if that's even a fucking word. You see what I'm saying? It could, dude, I'm excited about this stuff because I'm really about this life. Now, it's okay. Let's hypothetically say, let's just put this out there. The listeners might not, oh, well, I'm not a content creator. I'm like, yeah, but dude, fill your brain with knowledge. I was reading the back part of these little packages, and that's exactly what it says. The biggest weapon that you could have is sharpening up your mind. I'm telling you that right now, bro. You sharpen up your mind, and you know these historical facts. You could stop things from happening or repeating. You could stop time from repeating itself, and you create, not you, but again, the people around you creating the same mistakes other people created back then, or allowing or enabling things to take over your world and your habits, your belief systems.
There's no such thing as magic. It's just technology and psychology. And once you understand the tricks, then they'll never hurt you again. Now, everybody's creative, and I do have some optimism. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your situation is, but if you just take a moment and write on a piece of paper what all of your assets are, and that includes friends, family members, stuff you have in your garage, stuff your neighbor has, resources on the internet, you can cobble together enough to either learn a skill, be creative, produce something, and start an independent career of your own. I do not advocate anybody to be down in the dumps based on their situation. I know it can be tough. And I think the problem we all have, myself included, is like the person I am in my mind is not how I'm living my life. Okay? I've always wanted to go to Ireland. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I've never gone and probably never will go. I'm not this Indiana Jones that I think I am in my head. But I think a lot of people feel that their future should be on their own terms, exactly as it is in their head. And that's never going to happen, y'all. It's not. Okay? But you need to build on what you already have. And one skill leads to a job, which leads to a handshake, which leads to a career, which leads to growth. And you build on that. That's your future. Okay?
Damn. That's right. Amazing words. Make sure you check them out. PLUNDERworld.com. Tasks and also the links on the description of this show. Check them out at ParanoidRadio.com. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check us out at ParanoidRadio.com and drop a 5-star rating up a podcast. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Thank you again, bro. Mad love.
Thank you.
Paranoid Radio.